Architecture and Urban Design for a Civic Center Master Plan consultant services in the amount of $749,899. This has been something we've discussed for quite some time. Nice to see this come to at least this point. Bryce Atkins will be giving us this report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So a little bit of background. The current Civic Center Master Plan was adopted back in 2002, which makes it about roughly 22 years old. The existing facilities are aging with a lot of repair and high maintenance costs, and some are underutilized due to the condition. Wheeler specifically is a great example of that. We also have, on the other side, an increasing service demand for public facilities. Specifically, Council received multiple requests, multiple public comment sessions of members asking for a community or youth center to be deployed. So Council appropriated in the last budget cycle $750,000 to develop a new Civic Center Master Plan. Staff issued the RFP in September of 2024. The city received two proposals. It's on the screen here: ELS Architecture and Urban Design and Group 4 Architecture. Although very close in scoring, per the comments from reviewers, ELS included environmental work, whereas Group 4 had it as a separate item outside of the contract. This would result also in additional time and cost above the quoted amount and could further impact their timeline for completion. Staff the committee is recommending ELS Architecture and Urban Design. We did receive, as mentioned, two proposals. The low submittal of the numbers are likely due to preclusion from engineering design on future projects for Civic Center. The contract is to take the project all the way from conception all the way to completion of the project, which makes them essentially acting as city staff in that consultant capacity. So it precludes anybody from doing this plan from actually providing for engineered work on those projects. Each proposal featured several sub-consultants in the realms of finance, land use planning, engineering, other disciplines. The recommended proposal has 12 sub-consultants in addition to the main consultant. Several of these have existing City of Gilroy experience, multiple in land use planning and engineering. Timing is a big factor in the award. We are looking to be prepared for the 2026 election to grant Council the possibility of bond financing at that election. If missed, the next opportunity will be 2 years later in 2028. The project timeline is tight, but we have two key deadlines in the project schedule proposed: CEQA certification by Council in the second meeting in May of 2026, followed by master plan adoption by Council in the first meeting of June 2026. There are multiple key deliverables throughout the project. I'm going to go over a few of those here. A current conditions assessment would be completed by January 2025. Needs assessment would follow on at February of 2025 for completion. And then master plan design would begin at that point, ending in December 2025. That process has multiple input points for community, for council, planning commission, and city staff. Two visioning studies with the city council lead off in February through April. 5 community engagement workshops would then follow on April through August of 2025. And then closing with 3 sessions with the draft master plan with council, September through November of 2025. Once that conceptual plan is put together, project financing and environmental work would then commence at that point, each ending in March and May respectively. Fiscal impact is $749,899. This is from the Public Facilities Impact Fee Fund. So there is no impact to the general fund from this project. Council again appropriated this project back for the fiscal year 24. And then mid-cycle budget review and adjustments item later on this agenda would be moving those funds in fiscal year 25. So public outreach, it was included in the budget discussions back in May of 2023. The project proposes a collaborative approach with community, stakeholders, and staff, and includes multiple sessions for public input from the city and as well as the community as a whole. So recommendation is for Council to award a contract to ELS Architecture and Urban Design in the amount of $749,899 and authorize the city administrator to execute the agreement and all other related documents. That completes the presentation.
Thank you, Bryce. Okay, before I go to any questions, I want to make sure that at least the public understands that this is not awarding a contract for someone to do the design, even though the name of the company is Urban Design. This is for a consultant who will simply gather, organize, and analyze data to formulate a vision for this Civic Center for the council and the public to consider and begin moving forward on how they want to design what this could be. So I just wanted to make sure that that's clear with everybody. Okay, Councilmember Bracco.
Bryce, what do you estimate the time involved with this that they're going to have in it?
The consultants, it's pretty aggressive. They have, there's a term hours, but it's flipped through the delivery process. You're looking at a total of we're looking at 1,500 hours mixed to different consultants. No.
Okay, seeing no other questions from the council, I'd like to ask if we have anyone from the public who wants to speak. No public comment. Okay.
I do have a question. Sorry.
Okay, closing public comment. And Councilmember Armendariz?
I don't see a plan in there for their community outreach. Are you familiar with what kind of outreach they're going to do in the community?
Yeah, so it's a mixture of, they're required to have 5 public meetings in various locations throughout the city. It's English and Spanish. They'll be doing online surveys, but at the same time having paper surveys as well. They'll be integrated into the results that will become before council. The outreach is generally getting opinion, but at the same time, the plan is to have the public meetings in a series. So have one meeting, take back the comments, review, make tweaks and adjustments, and seek further clarification at each meeting.
And the paper surveys will be mailed out, or is there a plan for dissemination and like one-on-one canvassing?
Yeah, so they're looking at a couple of different options at this point. One is mail as an option. The other is using either local community organizations or partners working with the city to really identify the best possible route to get the paper copies out and distributed.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And I have one last question. One question. Do you know if this consultant will be provided with the 2019 study that we did and paid for, granted that was just for recreation things, but is that going to be made part of what they will have access to?
Yes,
Okay,
it's a great
great.
question. That, the older Civic Center Master Plan, any other documents and planning items have been done for this area or other needs for the city.
Great. Okay, thank you. Okay, motion by
Second.
Councilmember Bracco and seconded by Councilmember Armendariz to award a contract to ELS Architecture and Urban Design in the amount of $749,899 and to authorize the city administrator to execute the agreement and all other related documents.
Councilmember Bracco?
Yes.
Councilmember Armendariz?
Yes.
Councilmember Marks?
Yes.
Councilmember Hilton?
Aye.
Councilmember Klein?
Yes.
Councilmember Tovar?
Yes.
Mayor Blankley?
Yes, that passes unanimously.